Between the two of them.
The inside of coats.
Parker gets too heavily involved.
And that's Whitehead and Coates.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the VRRC and tonight's Porsche racing. We're currently experiencing some microphone issues, so Andy McEwen will join me in just a minute. So it's not usual for the co-commentator to take over and go from the start, but here we go. So this might be a little bit rattly, and it's my first go at having a go at this from the off. So while we what's going on with Andy's microphone, we'll run you through what's going on this evening. So qualifying has already got going. We're into that now by about 7 or 8 minutes, and we'll join the action in just a minute. Race 1 will come up at 7:55, and then we'll have a full reverse grid for the second race. As you can see on the screen, we've got two types of car racing tonight: the Porsche 911 GT3, as would run in the Carrera Cup Championship, you might have seen on ITV4, and also the Porsche 718 GT4, which you may or may not have seen, also live on ITV4. Both cars race in the same race, operating on a split grid class. So typically your GT3 cars are going to be right at the front, and will be 4 seconds a lap faster than GT4 cars that we're going to see tonight blasting around Croft circuit. The prizes tonight are not just for tonight; they are going forward to the full championship. So first place there is winning a CAMMUS pedal and steering wheel set. Second place there is a Riggs seat.
Shall I talk through this, Max?
You can do.
So
Rich is here from VRRC to help me out on this bit.
Hello, everybody. Andy's having some microphone issues, so I'm sure he'll join us shortly. But yeah, so what we've got at the moment, obviously the prizes for the championship, the GT3, we've got the CAMMUS C5 steering wheel and pedals, Riggs GT seat, Mecha sequential shifter, and then we've got some Delta Racewear VRRC branded. So quite looking forward to getting those prizes through. But go the GT4 prizes. GT4 prizes, we've got a selection of CAMMUS, Delta Racewear clothing, VRRC branded, but also with the driver's name and race number on there, but also some Power Max valeting kits as well. So some pretty decent prizes to be had. Let's talk about last week. So really good race last week at Donington. Eric Axelson had a difficult first round at Brands Hatch, but actually came out as the winner of round 2 at Donington. At Donington, yes, and also won driver of the round. Theo Mikuris, and followed by Nicky Taylor in the third, and then in the GT4 class. Ben Smith took 2 wins and came out leading the round from round 2 at Donington. Paul Laramie took a couple of second places, and then Chris Blakey coming up in 3rd place. What does that mean for the championship? Well, so we're looking at the 3 championship first. And as you can see, Carl Felvers has maintained his position at the top of the leaderboard after 2 rounds. Eric, from his difficult first round at Brands, has really come back strong and is now 2nd in the championship, followed by Theo. Nicky, Andy Dorman going down through Jay, who had a difficult Donington round. Elliot, Andy Carroll, Josh and Joel. You can see on there as well the amount of weight that the drivers are carrying, the green numbers next to the cars. That's the extra ballast that the guys are carrying from their success. We'll move on to the GT4 Championship. So Paul maintained his first position, but as you can see, he's equal on points with Ben Smith, newcomer, and also you can see there that these guys are carrying ballast in their championship as well. Chris Blakey coming in 3rd with John Jones 4th. Sam Milner, Kenny Press, Mark Stokes and Darren Butler rounding out the GT4s. Okay, so
it's worth noting there that the effectively what we've got there is whoever's scored best in one round, because the drop scores are
correct, yeah,
counting as in there. So because we've only done 2 races, effectively each driver's best result is their total score at the moment.
Correct.
So
yes,
it's almost just a best of the round for
yeah.
the first, and then it will equal itself out going forward.
Absolutely, yeah. So you can see on that graphic there the rounds. So you see round 1 and round 2. Paul had a first and a first, and he had a second and a second in round 2. So round 2, the red number is currently his drop round, and that'll obviously be updated as we go through. Anyway, we are fastly coming to fine with that delayed, so we've got a couple of minutes left in qualifying. We're at Croft Circuit this week, which is a favourite of Max's, I know, as he's very close, lives very close to it. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump straight into the qualifying and catch the last couple of minutes.
So we, as we jump into qualifying, the practice session certainly had Jay Warren at the front, and that is exactly how it is. With 2 minutes to go in qualifying, that's Jay Warren just popping into the pit lane there. An indicator of how his father Mark's car could well look if he was to enter the Grand Prix next year. We see Kyle Felvers in 2nd. He's our championship leader. Elliot Dalton-Ayres was in the mix, sort of in the 5th, 6th battle at Donington, and has really shown his pace here. Theo Mikuris, one of our championship challengers, on pretty much equal weight with Kyle Felvers, and has also been right up there on pace. Some 4/10 off pole, so Jay Warren has quite a commanding lead at the top of that. That's a fairly significant gap. As we come down the list, Andy Dorman, he is a local to Croft, so putting local knowledge to good use in 5th there, with Nicky Taylor just behind in 6th. Our race 1 winner from Donington Park, Eric Axelson, in 7th, and then Andy Carroll, who spectacularly held the lead as we got most of the way through race 2 there at Donington Park. As we come further down the list, I'm seeing Smith, and then so Ben Smith is still pole.
Yeah, Ben Smith's pole for GT4 at the moment, which is he's doing pretty well, but he's got a good half a second there, hasn't he, on Paul, who's 2nd.
Yeah, he's shown to be a very fast driver at Donington, but he's really laying down that gauntlet as he come into Croft with some pretty impressive pace, and that is now carrying a little bit of weight. So Blakey there in third, and yeah, we are good to go. So I believe we have an Andy McEwen back who may well be joining us any minute.
I'm not
But,
sure. I'm not sure. He's in the channel, but we can't see him saying anything. So
no, not just yet.
Maybe he'll be with us soon. We'll just crack on without him. Oh,
Yeah.
He's saying he's back. Oh, he is back.
It does rather help if I press the unmute button, doesn't it?
Yeah, you are very distorted.
Right, okay.
Very loud.
We'll work on that, bear with.
We'll go from there. So Carl Phelps is crossing the line, I think, to start one more lap. So he is currently in second. We do have live timing in action tonight, which I believe is in the description below the text. Jay Warren has crossed the line, so that means he will not be going any faster. We'll cross to Carl Phelps. So where is he? He is on his current lap, heading towards sector 1, which he should be through.
He's gone quick.
Now.
He's done his personal best in sector 1.
Yeah, so this is good. This could be a good lap, this, for Carl Phelps. That looks like a pretty good time through sector 1 as well. So he's some 2.5 tenths up on Jay Warren's last lap, which was 19. Sorry, was kind of way off the pace actually. So yeah, I think this could go quicker, but probably is not going to be
No, he's backed
a lap
off.
to beat.
Has he backed
a lap to
off?
beat Jay Warren.
Oh, no,
He still looks like he's going pretty well to me.
He's still on it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not quite through. The last sector's very, very short here, just 20 odd seconds.
No, he lost it there. No, he's down on the middle sector.
And we have pretty much everybody else who's going to do anything has crossed the line. So
cool.
That is a first-time pole position for Jay Warren here tonight. So well done, Jay. He's following his father's footsteps and throwing down some good shapes in Porsches this year. So it'd be interesting to see how Jay goes on tonight. But his pace is definitely fast enough to be able to relax and just take this on and make sure he's got the pace to come through, which he definitely has. So I think what we'll do is, now that qualifying's finished, we'll pull a few people up into our chat to have a little chat at the end of qualifying. So I'll bring Jay Warren in first.
Okay, we're going to go for an advert first, mate.
Oh, okay. Super. To the ads. Do you want me to do this bit?
Well, welcome back, everybody. I am back. Hopefully you can all hear me loud and clear. My technophobia has struck once again, I'm afraid, meaning I missed the qualifying session, but Rich and Max very ably covering for me. And we do have drivers to have a chat with after what was a fairly entertaining qualifying session, although Max's pre-qualifying of a Jay Warren pole position has proven to be the case. Jay, congratulations, pole position. The perfect way really to start your evening, and it positions you nicely now, doesn't it, to maybe get that first victory of the season.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a great qualifying. Practice went really well, so I was sort of had pretty decent expectations coming in, but I'm really, really happy to get pole. Yeah, thank you.
And it is one of those tracks, isn't it, Croft, where overtaking can be a bit of a challenge. So how confident are you that you can sort of lead from the front here and perhaps even get away?
Well, the last time I got pole, I struggled the first couple of laps. I had the guys behind me all over me, so Hopefully today I can just sort of get my head down, and as you said, hard to overtake. So hopefully I can just run my own race.
Excellent stuff. Well, Jay, very best of luck. I know we're all rooting for you to get that first victory, and who knows, this could be the race. Let's see how it goes. Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Good luck,
So,
Jay.
For the Cup class. Within the Cayman class, it's Ben Smith who will be starting from the front of the grid. Now, Ben, second in the joint championship leader, actually, and you really had a good week last time out at Brands Hatch, and things going well again here at Croft. Is this kind of how you expected things to go tonight?
I mean, I knew it was going to be a lot closer this time because I'm running more ballast, almost maximum this time. But Paul, he's there again. He's there again in second, but I had a really good lap there. That's about as good as it possibly could have got for me. So I'm really happy with that.
How much is that weight affecting you then? Because Croft is a bit of a stop-start circuit, at least through the final sector and a bit through the first sector as well. Are you feeling the back at all?
I mean, I don't think there's anywhere in particular where it's holding me back. It just generally feels a bit more lethargic than if it wasn't there, but we'll get by.
Excellent stuff. Well, good luck, Ben, for the race. And yeah, congrats on another pole position.
Thank you very much indeed.
So they are our two class pole sitters. Will they become class winners? Well, we'll find out within the next few minutes. Before we get into the race, though, a reminder of some of the action that you can get involved with here at the VRRC. If you wish, we have our weekly fun races. As always, these are completely free to enter, and the car and track combination changes on a weekly basis. And this time around on Sunday evening, we will be taking Radicals to Lime Rock Park. It's the SR3 that you can get behind the wheel of, and it's a great fun low pressure opportunity for you to get behind the wheel and get involved in racing here at the VRRC. We would absolutely love to get you on. So got our time attack, which is an opportunity not only for you to compete here at the VRRC, but also win some money. And that's never something to be snubbed. £15 will go to the driver who sets the fastest time over the 2-week competition. And it is all about hot lapping. This time around, it's around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit in Belgium. And it's the, Formula Mad car that very much does what it says on the tin. There is cash up for grabs for the top 5 fastest drivers, a fixed setup as well, so you don't need to be an engineering geek to get the best time out of the car. It's all about how well you can drive it around one of the true great racetracks in the world. So a couple of ways there for you to get involved racing at the VRRC if you're not yet ready to jump into full championship competition. But that is exactly what our drivers are going to be doing in just a few minutes' time. Race number 1 from Croft is coming your way very, very shortly.
So we've got 5 minutes until kick-off. Should we do the hot lap video now?
Yes.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let's do
Good
that.
idea.
Let's go to the hot lap. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's hit it.
So here we go then, a lap around the Croft circuit in North Yorkshire. On the left, Eric Axelson's Porsche Cup car. On the right, our one and only Rich Hayden in the Cayman. The first sector, really, really technical through Clairvaux into the never-ending right-hander here at Hawthorne. It's over a slight crest, it feels slightly off camber, and it's very, very bumpy. Very important to get the line right into the flat-out right-left chicane, because the exit from that chicane takes you down the back straight and into one of the best overtaking opportunities on the circuit, down at Tower Corner. Again, another big bumpy braking zone, quite a late apex unless you're battling wheel to wheel with somebody to try and get the power down, accelerate towards the second half of the lap, which really bears no resemblance at all to the first, because here it is flat out, fast flowing stuff, left right through the Jim Clark S's, and then into the daunting right-hander at Barcroft, immediately after which you're on the brakes, down the gears, and into sunny in and sunny out. Again, no room for error here. If you get it wrong, you're on the grass, and those barriers are looming very quickly. Then we head down into the complex, and a good lap can very easily be spoiled in these last few corners. The left-hander opens up before tightening into this really awkward double apex right-hander, out of which you want to position the car on the right-hand side of the road for the widest entry possible into the hairpin, the slowest corner in British motor racing. Again, a good exit is vital to try and get the run past the pits and across the line. The Cup cars, of course, getting there a little bit before the Caymans, but as you can see, it's a relatively short but very technically demanding lap for the drivers to tackle. Well, welcome back, everybody. Race number 1 here from Croft, only a few moments away, and this third evening of racing could be one in the championship, really. Both classes very finely poised, just 1 point between the top 2 drivers in the Cup class, Carl Felvis and Eric Axelsson. And as I said earlier on, Paul Laramie and Ben Smith actually tied for the championship lead so far in the Cayman class. It's going to be an entertaining pair of races tonight, Max, I think. Croft, a circuit that I know holds a very special place in your heart, but it is a challenge, isn't it? Particularly in cars as powerful as these.
It is, and one of the most challenging parts about the circuit is getting through the first few corners. So certainly Carl Felvis has been racy at the last round, and I think Jay Warren is a little bit nervous there on pole. So yeah, just hopefully everybody gets through this first complex of corners, turn 1, 2, 3 onto the back straight, and then we should be pretty good and clear from there.
Indeed, so it's an interesting grid, isn't it, with Felvis starting second and Eric Axelsson second in the championship, only 7th on the grid. So keep an eye to the red and white car, number 57, to potentially move forward from that 4th row of the grid. Certainly Eric needs to try and make some progress so that he's not losing too many points in the championship. Early days, but it's never too early to be considering those championship standings. There, though, is Jay Warren, sat on the pole position, ready to go. And the yellow and black number 46 car that was a contender, remember, in both races at the season opener at Brands Hatch, wasn't quite able to get across the line first, had a 3rd and an 8th place finish at Brands Hatch, then a slightly disappointing Donington, didn't quite have the ultimate pace, got caught up in a couple of little incidents as well. But here he is on pole position, and a couple of good results tonight could inject him right into the championship battle. It's not that far away now from seeing how he gets on in race number 1, 25 minutes on the clock here at Croft. Jay Warren and Carl Felvis starting from the front row of the grid. Elliot Dalton-Ayres and Theo Mercurius on row 2. Who gets the best of the starts and who will lead them through Clervaux for the first time? The red lights are on. They go out. Now we're away in racing here at Croft. A very even start. And Carl Felvis is definitely going to try and take the fight here to Jay Warren into the first corner. He's on the outside line. Does the championship leader take the risk? The answer is no. And so Warren will hang on to the advantage. Felvis second. Dalton-Ayres there in 3rd. And Theo Mercurius, I think, is in 4th position. Warren a bit wide there through Hawthorne. That's okay. Gets across to the inside line through the chicane, accelerates down the back straight. It's gone to the race lead. And it looks, Max, as though that was a surprisingly, dare I say it, clean run through the first few corners.
Yeah, I definitely think Jay is sensing the nerves here deep into Tower at the end of the back straight there. I think he just needs to get into his rhythm here because Felvis is ultimately going to be hampered by that weight disadvantage. But yeah, Jay's got away, so let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, he was wide into town, got out of the corner well enough. Keeps Felvis and Dalton-Ayres at bay, but we saw a bit of this from Jay at Brands Hatch. He led the first race, certainly in that evening, wasn't quite able to break away, and it sensed that maybe the pressure was getting to him. It looked as though Felvis was closing in there as they headed towards the complex. Yes, he was. And Jay Warren at 4 times, perhaps not feeling as confident as the drivers around him. That's why we're punching up behind into the hairpin. He defends again to the middle of the road. Now going in tight here, can really just correct his arms the car nicely on the apex, and it will be Jay Warren then who leads the opening lap of the race. Felvis second, Dalton-Ayres there in 3rd, 4th Theo Mercurius and Andy Dorman and Nicky Taylor all across the league group, and that is Axelsson. That is Eric Axelsson, second in the championship, around at the final hairpin. I thought I saw a bit of a skirmish in the background, and Max, that is a disaster for one of our early championship contenders.
It is. I'm sure he'll fly back through the GT4 contenders, but yeah, not ideal for Eric Axelsson there. It could well be a blessing in disguise as we have one Cayman running very wide there. I think Ben Smith opening up a bit of a lead on the first lap in the Cayman class, but yeah, it could work in Axelsson's favour as we come into the second race and have the reverse grid. So it's not all over for him yet.
Good point, actually, yeah, because it didn't look like he really had the pace to sort of race his way into the lead in this one, but he's pretty much just solidified himself a front starting position for race 2, from which maybe he could race win. We'll have to wait and see. There is Carl Felvis then, hard at work as he chases down Jay Warren, but Jay now, would you say, Max, is starting to sort of settle into his rhythm? He looked a bit nervous on the opening lap on cold tyres, but things now starting to look a bit smoother for the race leader.
Yeah, he's gapped Felvis at points through this lap, so I think Jay he really needs to just settle down into it. He's doing a good job. Felvis has looked less racy this lap over the first. So yeah, what's the gap there? Is it 10th of a second faster for Jay Warren? So it's yeah, it's going to come together. Felvis using definitely more curb there, and seeming to take maybe a slightly tighter line through the second part of the sort of complex there.
Worth reminding you, of course, that Theo McCure is also a title contender, third in the points, but he's sitting in fourth place at the moment as Eric Axelsen works his way through Clervaux, still sort of digging his way out of the Cayman class. Now, within the Cayman class, you're quite right, it is going to be the pole sitter, Ben Smith, who continues to lead the way, but not been a great start this for Paul Laramie, has it? Laramie is further down the order than we're used to seeing him within the Caymans. He is on the tail of Milner, in fact, dives up the inside of Milner into Tower. I'm not sure he was going to get that car stopped. We'll get back to that in a moment, though, because things hotting up at the front of the pack in the Cup class as, well, Jay Warren, just as we were saying, Max, that he was settling down, coming under renewed attack now from Carl Felvis.
Yeah, it looked like Jay had maybe got a gap, then Felvis had pulled him back, but this front four is starting to break away a little bit now. With another gap, then I think the next sort of three behind, so it's starting to get a bit dicey. What you tend to find here is the last corner is a place that's quite easy to defend, then you get a different line, so Dalton Ayres there in fourth, having a bit of a go at Makuris.
McKeer is trying to go around the outside, actually, to take third place. I thought he'd got the move made, but just couldn't quite turn into the corner. And so Elliot Altonaires has gone back through, but that was brave stuff from Theo. You can see, though, that little side-by-side exchange just allows the top two to break away slightly. There's that little bit of real estate now behind Carl Felvis. He's no longer under any pressure, and that perhaps leaves him free to attack the race leader, who again takes that very early turn in into Tower. Now, that time, Max, I don't think Jay Warren was defending. That looks like it's just his line.
Yeah, it does. There's actually some different lines from a few of the different drivers at the front. Felvis seems to take a lot of curb at turn one, gets inside the curb line, where Jay there is a little bit wider. I do wonder whether track limits is going to play a factor in tonight with that sort of thing. A lot of drivers cutting the chicane onto the back straight, which if you were in real life, you definitely couldn't do.
No, that is a good point. Track limits were a bit of a hot topic last week, and I'm sure could well be again tonight. Meanwhile, this third place battle continues to rage on. That little bit of pressure that Kyrgios put on 7th, Carol 8th, Ethan Hill 9th, and Craig Curtis in 10th position. Axelsen, meanwhile, still not yet back into the top dozen, so he is making slow progress up the order. Likely to gain too many more places unless there's some attrition ahead of him, which could well happen. Down towards Tower Corner we go, riding on board with Theo Makuris. Theo, who had a strong night at Donington a week ago, fourth in race one, a win, his second of the season actually, in race number 2. Where do you think, Max, he's going to be able to realistically make a challenge here against Elliot Altonaires for third?
He's definitely not here because he's not close enough. So he's going to have to mount it a little bit further around the lap. The hairpin seems to be where he's strong, but if I was him, it's probably looking at a move on the way into Tower. So that is exiting the first couple of complex and corners. He can try and get a run on the way out turn 2, and then on the run up towards Tower Bend. So the other option is that you dive up the inside here, but it is quite risky on the brakes. You can see how much of a gap Elliot Dalton has left there, and it's certainly an opportunity, but he needs to be closer than he was there.
Of course, you dive up the inside of the hairpin, you've got to be sure you make the move stick, because that, I think, is what Theo did a couple of laps ago, and then found himself on the outside into Clervaux, where you want to be. Bit of a snap of oversteer there from Makuris as he turned into the first corner. So, manages to gather it all together. So it's an 8/10 of a second lead now for Jay Warren. A further 8/10 back to Altonaires in third position. And actually not dissimilar, about 7/10 back to Makuris in fourth. Dorman 5th, then Taylor, Martin, Carroll, Hill and Curtis. Haynes is still Smith, who leads the way. He is sort of slowly inching his way back up the order into second place now within the class. There is the race leader. And, well, Ben Smith may not have done the first 2 races of the season at Brands Hatch, but since he has been racing, he's got a 100% winning record. 2 wins from 2 last time out at Donington Park. And right now, Max, he looks the odds-on the favourite to claim a 3rd victory in a row.
Yeah, and he's got a considerable gap there, hasn't he? In just a couple of minutes, he's built up 7.5 seconds over Laramie. He was half a second on pole in in qualifying. So yeah, the pace is definitely there for Ben Smith, isn't it? And if he can continue in that way, then he's going to be a real championship threat, even after missing the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben Smith just looks silky smooth, doesn't he? Making no mistakes, just inch perfect as he winds his way into this tight technical final sector. And yeah, really smooth steering inputs, heading straight for the apex, not overdriving as Stuart Vickers perhaps was there, heading through the sunny in and out complex. The Phoenix Sim Racing car is coming under a bit of pressure actually from Sam Milner behind as that gap starts to creep down a little bit. So towards the end of another lap they go, back into the Cup class though, and well, an interesting shift in dynamic here, Max, because all of a sudden Felvis is dropping away slightly from Warren, and actually the gap second to third now looks like it's the one coming down. Elliot Dalton-Ayres finding some good mid-race pace.
As we switched over to the GT4 class last time, I was about to say I have a feeling that Dalton-Ayres is going to come back at Felvis rather than Felvis coming at Warren. So I think the pace in practice, I'm not saying I called that, but I called that. So but the pace in practice was definitely that Dalton-Ayres was quicker, and I think what we're starting to see here is that the weight balance shifts out from qualifying. So Mikuris and Felvis definitely seem to be the fastest two drivers in the championship, and their weight disadvantage is meaning that they're not qualifying at the front. They're slightly better in the first few laps than those around them, Dalton-Ayres and Jay Warren, who've maybe not quite got the experience. But once they get into their stride, then Dalton-Ayres and Warren are really coming in. So yeah, I think a move is relatively imminent from Dalton-Ayres.
Yeah, Elliot Dalton-Ayres could do with a good result, really. He's had no podium finish. That was a second place in the first grid race at Brands Hatch, but since then hasn't really looked like troubling the top three positions. But here he is, running in third place, and perhaps sniffing an opportunity to claim a second place, I should say, of the season. On board with him now, he's much closer to Carl Felvis than he has been, and closes right in on the way into Sunny. Is that a graphic example there, Max, do you think, of the weight difference between these two cars? Remember, Felvis on 45 kilos and Elliot Dalton-Ayres only 15, and that means Elliot can just brake that bit later, carry that bit more speed into the turns.
It's certainly one of the big stops, and it's really hard to get it through Sunny in. So I think it's probably more a testament to the mid-corner capability with the weight than it is the braking. Yeah, certainly Dalton-Ayres is catching up. Actually, just looking at lap times, and we will do it again as they come over the line here, but just to see whether Dalton-Ayres has anything on our leader Jay Warren, that the gap sort of between first and second has been close, and it's just interesting to see whether Dalton-Ayres actually had the pace to come back at Warren. But I think ultimately getting past Felvis is going to take up too much of his time to really match challenge on Warren.
Yeah, he almost matched Warren's time there, but he's maybe getting held up a bit now, being so close behind Carl Felvis, but getting past has not been the work of a moment. Again, takes an earlier apex there into Tower Corner. Celebrating back towards the Jim Clark S's. This fast left, right flick in a car like this, Max. This must be a really, really fun sequence of corners.
It's fast in a Cayman GT4, and it's even faster in GT3. So yeah, in real life it is mega fun, but this could be a bit of an interesting dynamic. We've got back markers coming up now, which are going to be a bigger pain, I think, for our third place driver there in Dalton-Ayres. So that one didn't quite work out, but I think as we go through the race, that could well play out into Dalton-Ayres' hands, to be fair.
Yeah, this could be interesting then. From the hairpin, they go. Lead gap down fractionally and all of that as well. Good lap here from Carl Felvis. He's going to be quicker by quite a bit, actually, I think, than Jay Warren. He does a 120.2, and Felvis 3/10 quicker than that, a 119.9. And interestingly, 3/10 quicker than Dalton-Ayres. So, in fact, Jay Warren and Elliot Dalton-Ayres are the two slowest cars within the top 5 on that lap. So, it ebbs and it flows. The traffic, I'm sure, had something to do with that. Carl Felvis is not out of this yet. He, I'm sure, will have in the back of his mind the knowledge that Eric Axelsson is having a great race. He's outscoring Theo Mercuris by a few places, Nicky Taylor by a few more, so Felvis is in a good position now to win this race. I'm sure he'd like to, if the opportunity presents itself. In the first half of this lap, though, that lead gap once again shooting up, and Elliot Dalton-Ayres, this really is the part of the track, isn't it, Max, where Elliot seems to close in?
It is. And guess who was fastest in that first sector that time? Theo Macoris. So this could well be a three-way battle, but to be fair, it wasn't too much quicker than the guys ahead of him. But yeah, hopefully this is me willing it on to all come together. So let's see what happens.
Well, these races have had a habit of doing that this season, so I wouldn't bet against it. Jay Warren should be able to manage this from out in front. Behind him, the battle for the lower podium steps could start to get a bit more interesting. Round the final hairpin goes the race leader. Through that final sector, actually, Felvis, that's the last 2 laps I've noticed that Felvis has taken a 10th or so out of Warren in the final sequence of corners. That time around, he is a 10th slower over the lap. Definitely closed in through the final couple of corners. So perhaps through the high-speed stuff, Felvis struggling, but the low-speed corners, he seems to have a good rhythm. Towards the chicane again. Can Elliot Altonares get close enough here to have a go at Felvis? He's within half a second, but you've got to be closer than that. It's a big braking zone back, down at Tower Max, but you can't really come from that far back.
No, and the way these Porsches drive tend to go into the front quite early, so you've got to be pretty well committed on the way in to make a move happen, and I think that's what's just meaning that Dalton is struggling to get through. So if I was him, what would I be looking at doing? I'd be thinking a back marker could help me out. We've got a couple of them coming up. We've got close to the tower, but not really close enough. But definitely this section here with Sunny in and out seems to be the place. So he's hot on his tail here. He's getting in his mirrors, and that's exactly what he wants to be doing. So I think he just needs to stick it up the inside of the last corner and have a proper go, to be fair.
His chance. There's a back marker doing some strange things with the head. Oh, he's going to look, just not close enough. I think he had the same height here as you, Max, but
yeah,
he just didn't want to commit.
Yeah, he's got to commit. He's got to go for it. So, you know, once he's got part of the way alongside it, Felvis doesn't have an option but to give him that space. So, yeah, he's got to pick his moment, but that looked like a pretty good one that he just gave away a little bit. Oh, Felvis wide. That's it. He's through.
Oh, mistake from Felvis. You don't say that very often, and through will go Elliot Daltonares. That was a gift for Elliot, who had been trying for lap after lap to make the move stick. Now, Felvis won't like that, and he's going to try and fight straight back. He pulls alongside, looks to the outside line towards Tower Corner, and he needs to watch out because Theo Mercurius, one of his big title rivals, is not that far behind. He slots back into third. There's a bit of snap oversteer there from Daltonares coming out of Tower Corner, and so Felvis once again has the momentum, but there's nowhere to go through the Jim Clark Essence. You can't really go side by side through there, not very easily anyway. Perhaps into C, that's a low percentage move, and Carl Felvis decides better of it. So if Elliot Daltonares can get his head down here, Max, he's 2.3 seconds adrift of the race leader. He might yet have the pace over 9.25 minutes to close in, but Felvis is not letting off the hook easily.
No, I think that's probably just made Jay Warren's job a little bit easier at the front, but Felvis looks racy as we come through here. But I have a feeling there's one man who'll be sniffing blood, and that will be, oh, it is Theo Macoris. He's having a look.
Yeah, tried, looked to the inside, didn't quite want to go for it, but Theo Mercurius, remember, is 9 points behind Kyle Felvis at the moment, sits third in the championship, and knows that this is a genuine opportunity now to score some points back. There's only 5 kilos of weight difference between them as well. There's 40 kilos and Felvis 45, so good chance of an even and fair fight between the two of them over the remaining laps. It does look though as though Elliot Daltonares is just starting to get back into his groove. I think he lead by that marker there through the first few corners. So Daltonares, what do you think? Has he got what it takes to reach that 1.7 second gap and challenge for the win?
I think he needs some luck with some back markers, to be honest. I think Jay Warren's been the form man throughout this, so Jay definitely got held up in turn 1. I don't really know why Felvis had the issue in turn 1, so be interesting to ask him afterwards.
Yeah, it was a strange one. There was a back marker there, but I don't actually think it was anything to do with the lap car. I think that was just, Felvis maybe having an awkward bounce off the curb. We'll find out from him as long as he finishes on the podium, of course. We'll have the chance to interview him after this first of 2 races tonight. So he is at the moment in a podium position. Dorman isn't, but Dorman on course seemingly for another top 5 finish. Remember, finished 5th in both of the first 2 races this season at Brands Hatch, then had an up and down night at Donington, 12th in race 1 after the incident, rising to 6th in race 2, and now having shed a little bit of weight, he's actually the lightest car really in this lead group, apart from Jay Warren, 10 kilos for each of them. Now starting to close in as well on Theo McHugh.
With the world in chaos, what's really needed is someone to finally make sense of human seemingly mad behavior, which is actually what Australian biologist Jeremy Griffith, who I consider to be the newest Charles Darwin, has done in this incredible interview. His world-saving breakthrough presents the redeeming and psychologically healing understanding of ourselves, which is the fundamental paradigm shift we need to save the human race.
I'm completely shocked after watching this interview to see a scientist finally explain the human condition and fix the world. It's utterly astonishing.
What you will hear is really the most amazing talk that has ever been heard.
This interview left me speechless. It's bigger than natural selection and the theory of relativity.
I believe this is the most sensational information to ever appear on planet Earth.
So you just need to listen to this interview.